Hey, what's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome to another after show for TNT's Animal Kingdom. Tonight we are talking Season 1, Episode 3, titled Stay Close, Stick Together. Coming up right after this.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We almost wound up in Mexico.
Yes, that is right. Almost wound up in Mexico. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm your host, Alina Vision. You can follow me on all social media at Alina Vision, and that's Vision with 2 S's. And I am, of course, joined by my awesome panel and co-host. Why don't you guys introduce
Here we
yourselves?
are. Hey guys, what's up? Leslie Ambriz here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
What's up, guys? I'm Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram. I can't wait to talk about this episode. The show is really getting me. It's really grabbing me, and I just we have the press link, so we can watch the episodes a little ahead of time. But I have a hard time resisting, but I don't want to because I want it all to be fresh right when we step in here. But I'll admit I watched the first few minutes of this one on my own, and I was like, I gotta stop.
You did.
Gotta wait to watch with you guys.
And just so you guys know, we have Ben in the chat room, so feel free to chat it up with us. We'll be doing that all episode long. And actually, I have a little special announcement. We had Daniela Alonso in the AfterBuzz studios today for a special spotlight on with AfterBuzz's own Yael Teagle. And you guys actually submitted some questions to her, and you were able to watch the interview back. So why don't you tell our viewers exactly how she answered?
I mean, she pretty much, thank you, Yael, because she covered basically all of our questions that were all character related. The one that I asked, or 2 of them, was one, will we see Katherine involved in any crimes? Daniela's good. She's good with the little PR questions, and she was kind of like, I don't know. She has a daughter now, so she's looking out for her, but maybe. So, I mean,
The
hopefully
maybes
we'll see.
there,
Yeah, the maybes
so-
always are kind of yeses, but then you think they're trying to throw you off, so I don't know with that one. She also said she'd be using possibly weapons, since she's had experience from a past show that she did. So
Yeah, she cleared up some stuff as well about stuff that they covered in the episode tonight. She was very strategic with her answers because a lot of the information that seemed like inside info, we actually got in the episode. But it's stuff, when she's like, when you were a pimply faced kid, so she admitted that she's known and been best friends with Pope since she was 12. That Katherine hates her. They've never gotten along. So little stuff like that. One of the questions that I had asked Yael to ask was, does she regret being in a life like a crime family? And her answer to that was that she wanted to be a part of a family, and this is just a version. This is just a family she became a part of. So she got what she wanted, and she knows what she's in for. It doesn't really seem that way necessarily that she's happy about it, but she lives, I think, a pretty comfy life. So that's just what it is.
Well, that's awesome. And you guys can definitely check out that interview. It's up on AfterBuzz's YouTube page. It's Spotlight On. So check that out. But right now we're going to hop into this episode. So let's start off talking about Pope, because he definitely had a huge just everything tonight.
Definitely.
And so let's start up at the top when first scene opens on him, and we meet another character. And he's trying to get him to do some work with him, and Pope just kind of has his own thing going. So what'd you guys think about that?
I mean, I would have loved to know the guy's name.
Right.
Which we didn't get at all. I was kind of thinking, is this maybe his dad? And these are just all the kind of men that Smurf has slept with that we're kind of secretly meeting, but they're anonymous because we're not supposed to really pay attention to them. But the part that really got me was when he started talking about Katherine and Lena with Pope.
Exactly.
It was just too casual.
It was creepy.
For someone that's not, that's supposedly not his kid. It was just too hey, how are they doing? Or I'm good with kids. Somewhat of a threat, somewhat of a hint for the audience.
Right. So do you think it was maybe a seed for something coming up later as to who this character is?
Well, I think 2 things. I think a little bit there. I believe that's Michael Bowen, most famous, I think, for playing Uncle Jack in Breaking Bad. I believe so. That's where he comes to mind for me.
Right.
But he wasn't listed on the IMDb as far as who his character was in this episode, so I agreed. I didn't know his name. But I do think there was a little bit of, was the reason that Pope pulled this job, because that's the job he told him about.
Right.
So did he pull that job because he felt threatened? You're not really sure. I don't know. I don't really know. But I definitely think definitely think that that's a character that we're going to see again. It seems like there's kind of a theme here of all the brothers kind of taking on action for themselves, which
Right.
inevitably will result in a fatality for one of them eventually.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah.
One
I
of them
think
going to
so,
jail.
too.
Someone's got to go.
Yeah.
I hate it because I love them all, but someone's got to
I
go.
know, but they all just kind of get a little sloppy. We see that again tonight
Yeah.
with the jobs. I mean, it's just kind of their character traits, definitely. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about Lena actually being Pope's baby?
I would not be surprised at all. I could see it coming. It's more of a I'm expecting it rather than oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Plus, it's just Pope has too much where he's just there too often to not be her father.
Pope's like definitely mastered the art of creepily showing up like behind
No
it.
kidding.
All
Oh
the
my
time.
goodness.
Yeah, like there was like the shot where she's getting in the car and the camera's moving, and I literally just was like pointed
there.
as soon
There
as
he
the
is.
camera turns. You know Pope's standing there. Like you know that like that's just like a TV thing, but like
Right.
he's just like so good at just creepily standing in doorways.
Think he
waiting for
learned that in
people.
prison?
Like
Yeah.
way too close
Yeah.
though to where you're like running into him.
Yeah.
No kidding, no kidding.
Oh
He
my
definitely
God.
has the creepiness, and that comes in at the end of the episode,
Oh my
which we will
God.
definitely get to because so creepy. All of our jaws pretty much hit the floor with that scene.
We were all
I was cringing. I was cringing so bad. Like, wait, what's gonna happen right now?
That's
Which
like,
I'm glad it didn't go where I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna
right.
go.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it since
Okay.
we're there.
but subtlety, right? Because like it's the whole thing where it's like okay, you know they'll be like you know. Okay, this is a good example, right? They'll be like a magazine with people looking sexy in clothes is going to always be sexier than just like straight nudity. It's kind of the same thing. This is like suggestive, but it's like it didn't quite go there. But it's like had it gone there, it would have been like really uncomfortable. In this case, you
Yeah.
have to just wonder what happened, and you're just like, oh god, like, this is so bad.
Maybe
This
they'll
is
open
so-
up like next episode with
yeah.
I
clothes
hope
on the
not,
floor,
though,
they're in
but-
the bed, and we're just like, oh, it
All of us
happened.
are just like,
This is
oh.
cringing.
Like your skin is crawling. Like that's just this entire show, though, in general.
I mean, they took it there.
Uh-huh.
They are definitely pushing the envelope and taking it there.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I mean, even last week we were saying that the relationship between Smurf and her sons is kind of incestuous, and it's really going there even more so now. And I just want to know, like, how
Yeah.
far does this
She
go?
kissed Jay on the lips at the end.
She did.
Again, all the
Just
time.
a casual
Yes.
thing. Asked him about his sex life. Like, no big, you know? Because
She
you talk
kissed
with Grandma all the time.
She kissed Craig on the lips too, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the guy you saw naked in your,
Did she kiss him when he was naked? I think she did. In the first episode?
She might have.
She might have.
I honestly wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I just
It's
can't remember.
It's pretty crazy. So, talking about Smurf and Pope, she actually goes and tells Pope that, you know, Jay is very impressionable right now. He's kind of leaning towards Baz, but you can get him on your side.
So manipulative.
Yeah.
So I really like the relationship that they're starting to build between Pope and Jay. It's funny. Pope is like the most screwed up in some ways, but he's also like maybe in some ways the most likable of all the characters because aside from his creepiness, he hasn't actually done much that you've been like, you're a bad dude.
Yeah.
It's more like
True.
he just like has issues, but they all have issues. And I
Right.
sort of like the idea of like Jay, who's like young and impressionable, kind of teaming up with him. Like the moment when they, you know, he like Jay like came through for him and later he was like, thanks for today.
Right.
I was kind of like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I had a little bit of that.
You had a bro
moment.
moment.
A little bit, yeah. I kind of like that. What do you guys think about that?
I honestly, I could see that now, but watching it, I didn't get that vibe at all. I
Okay.
thought he was just using Jay, and this is just kind of buttering him up
Right.
for, like, okay, now Jay's going to trust me, and then he's just going to drop him at any moment.
Could be. I mean, I wouldn't put it
Right.
past him, but
Right.
there is that part of me that has hope that like maybe it's an
That
alliance.
would be nice,
Right.
yeah.
I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of sussing the whole situation out because a part of me really does want Jay to kind of link on to Baz instead
Right.
of Pope. But I do like what you said that Pope really hasn't done anything specifically bad. He's just kind of creepy and has his own little character quirks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of felt like he was using him.
Yeah.
Just to see, you know, how far he would go and to kind of make him like his pawn in
Right.
this whole
Because
scheme.
he totally wants his girlfriend, too. Can we talk about that
Yes.
stare down moment where
Let's
she
talk
was like,
about that.
oh, hey.
And I kind of think she wants him too. A
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit.
she wants all of them. She can't
Yeah.
decide.
Yeah.
She's getting seduced by the money and the bad boyness,
Totally.
which it happens.
She totally has that like looking at Jay and looking at them and being like, Jay, full-grown man. Jay, like, you know what I mean?
Full-grown man at
She's
the
like,
car.
this is how I'm
bicycle.
getting into the
Yeah.
family, and this is what I'm doing once I get in. Like,
Yeah. So jumping on her for just a quick second, we have a scene that happens between Jay and her dad.
Right.
There's some, like kind of a cop undertone in this episode a little bit. We start to get like just the cops showing up, and we see these familiar relationships with police figures throughout. You know, there's the guy that Baz runs into last episode,
Right.
and then there's the two cop figures in this episode. But I thought it was interesting what Smurf says to Jay when she talks about Nikki. And she says, "Is she giving you what you want?" And he says, "I think so."
Right.
And then she's like, "Some girls need to be told what to do." And then she says, "I can't tell you how many times my boys have gotten laid because a girl's trying to piss off her daddy." Now she knows who Nikki's dad is. She'd be too dumb not to.
Right.
So I think that's a dig a little bit. I think there's like a kind of like I don't know exactly what she was trying to do with that comment, but that was what I sort of started to think about. Like I think Nikki's dad as a character, unfortunately, I'll save for predictions, but I think I know what's going to happen to him. But nonetheless, I definitely think that's like a very relevant relationship is the Nikki's dad relationship.
Right. I definitely think Smurf was using it as a dig. For some reason, I think she wants to kind of drive a wedge between Nikki and Jay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
definitely.
mean, between the questions, just the awkward questions she asks both of them that a normal grandmother probably wouldn't. And, you know, she did ask, which other son of mine would you,
Yeah.
Oh,
would you like to be with?
So let me just to clarify for a second. So she's Jay's grandmother.
Yes.
So Jay's
Smurf
mom was
is.
Smurf's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%?
Yeah.
Because Pope.
Smurf's mom was twins with Pope.
Okay, Smurf's mom.
Or no, not Smurf's mom. Jade's mom.
Jay's mom is twins with
Pope.
Pope, and
Right.
I think those are Smurf's actual kids. And then, like we said the last week,
Which
the
is
other
why it's
ones
possible
just
that
kind of came in.
Baz isn't her actual
No.
kid.
But this is why it's
But
possible
the other
that
two have
Baz
different
could be
dads.
Jay's dad without it being
Right.
Yeah.
super weird.
Without it being even
Got it.
more
She
incestuous
said-
of a show.
She said something like, "Your mom always had guys around. I even tried to make one of them her brother."
Yeah,
Right.
So
Got it,
I feel like that's
it's weird.
was
It's
a hint.
It
it's,
is.
it's really weird. Like you don't get the sense that that Smurf like misses her daughter or is sad she's
No.
gone at all. Which is why I just asked that question because like I think I knew that was the relationship, but also to this point when I'm thinking about it, I just like it doesn't feel like that was the relationship. You know,
Right.
in no way does it feel like this was like she just never makes reference that she's even sad she's gone.
Right. Like, I want to know what happened to make the relationship that toxic that your mother
Yeah.
doesn't care that you're gone.
just steals
Certainly
your
seems
t-shirt.
that way.
and that's
Exactly,
about it.
steals your
But I
t-shirt,
honestly
yeah.
think even going to a quote that Katherine said in the show was, once she grows a pair of tits, like she'll turn on you. Talking about Lena.
Oh, that's
I
right.
think Smurf just hates other women in
Definitely.
general.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's probably
'cause she
what
can't
drove
control
her away
them.
from her daughter.
That's something
Right.
that Daniela said today when she was talking to Yale. She definitely said they were fine when they were kids, but it's when she became a woman she started to hate her. So that's like definitely clearly a trend, which makes sense. Is the sort of
Yeah.
powerful matriarchal woman, which also would make sense why Smurf kind of even. I think we all assume she's supposed to be playing like somewhere in her 50s, but she's like in great shape. Looks like she's had a boob job,
Yeah.
has like impeccably done hair,
Right.
still like
great fashion.
for a 62-year-old
Still
woman in
always
real
looks
life,
great.
she's like
Yeah.
really hot.
Yeah.
And like, and I think that there's this element of like needing to still like be attractive and like control
Absolutely.
men that clearly comes into play with the relationship to women.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. All right. So now that we're talking about Smurf, let's talk about the relationship actually between Smurf and Katherine.
Yeah.
In this episode, we see Smurf just completely take control of Lena.
Right.
Doing things that Katherine does not like. And did you guys think it was right for Smurf to take Lena out of the store? I'd be freaking out just like Katherine was.
No, I mean a little bit of yes and no, or like if the girl's walking by herself and I saw like somebody that I knew by themselves, I'd been like, "Hey, Crystal, here she is." But in terms of taking her full on out of the store, that's
Without
just,
even like calling Katherine
that's just
to
like
tell
psycho
her.
grandma.
Well, it's clearly a move.
stuff
She's
going
right.
on.
she's
Uh-huh.
doing it intentionally. I mean, here's the thing. Looking at Catherine's position, what side do you fall on, right? Because on the one hand, this is the question that she was asked today when she said she doesn't regret being in the family. It's like, okay, so on the one hand, this is the life you're in, and your guy is, that you think you have a daughter with, or maybe he thinks you have a daughter with, he's a criminal, and the family, it's a crime family, and that's where all of your income for the most part has come from, and everything like that, right?
Right.
So you have to just accept what comes along with it, because Smurf has the line where, this time she didn't just seem, what was the line I wrote down? She's never been smart enough to see the big picture. This time she seemed ungrateful.
Right.
On the other hand, it's like, okay, maybe you should stop being so resistant to Smurf taking care of your kid, even though it probably like leads your kid in the wrong direction. If you're gonna pull the kid away and be like, stay away from my kid, you're not my family, then you think you just need to get out of the family in general.
Right.
And she's trapped.
Yeah.
But do you think she really can get out of the family? Because if that is Pope's daughter, technically she really can't.
I think she can try.
She can try.
And she probably won't get too
but
far.
I feel like Smurf feels like that is my grandchild, so I can take my grandchild, rather than if it was just Baz's, who's not her son. It's a little different.
I don't think there's any way.
She knows.
I think she does.
Okay.
I don't think there's any way for anybody to get out of the family, really. I'm just saying, like, you see where she falls on it, and it's like, what side would you fall on if you were Katherine? Would you say, you know what, I need to just like go with the flow on this because I'm not getting out of this anyway, and at least I can stop creating problems? Or if I'm gonna create problems, then I need to mastermind my way to get out. But she does have her safety word. We saw it.
Yeah,
we shot
she
and
does.
said to Alina. It was
Snowflake.
So there is a contingency plan. Maybe she's looking to leave, and maybe that's why she's so resistant.
That could be it.
Maybe that's going to happen this
Saving up
season.
her money, getting
Yeah.
ready to go.
Snowflake and the creepy doll. We still
no.
don't know what's going on with that, but I'm sure eventually.
I'm so convinced there's like a camera in that doll or something.
Maybe, could be. So let's move on to Baz. Baz has another girl in Mexico, Lucy.
Yeah. He likes his Latina women.
Yes, he does. I was
definitely.
gonna say he has a type. He definitely has a type.
They're all very attractive.
They are.
They are, yeah. They really
Very
are.
pretty
and
girls.
they kind of, not all Latinas don't look the same, but these two look very similar. So
Yeah.
I know, because I even asked you guys. I was like, "Wait, is that?"
Right.
I thought, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they finally got, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they finally have chemistry. Great. Nope,
No.
some other chick.
Oh, it's this other chick. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the relationship is between them because they seem very close. He knows the brother, Marco.
Talking about Lucy and Marco.
Lucy,
Yeah.
yes. And there's a kid there, so.
I honestly think Lucy is his true love, the one that he would be with if he didn't have Lena. with
Seems that way.
Katherine.
Yeah,
Seems
it
that way.
does. It does. Because we see him show a lot more affection with
Oh,
her
Yeah.
than with Katherine.
He doesn't even touch Katherine. Like, even when they interact
so
or
true,
talk.
yeah.
It is weird, yeah. That relationship is very sterile, and with Lucy, he seems like he's much happier there. But like Pope also like knew about it and brought it up, right?
Yeah,
Did you see Lucy while you were there? And he's like, no. So it's clearly
There
it's like-
really no secrets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Even Craig, when he was there, was like, I think I know where you've been.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Baz and possibly Jay,
Okay.
possibly being his father.
You have that moment at the end there where they're talking, and
Right.
Baz is saying that, don't worry about it. Your mom did that to everybody, as far as him shooting her up when she died. I don't feel like that's true. I think that's probably maybe that's like convenient information that could be a hunch that Smurf decided to use to rope Jay in.
Okay.
That's what
Right,
it felt like
okay.
to me. It felt manipulative. But on the other hand, that's one of those reveals that like they dropped it really early. It's like the third episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if that's really going to be the relationship and Jay's going to know that and that's going to be a thing, like I feel like that would have come out way later because that's such a big bomb to drop.
Right.
Especially with Jay like on the phone with the guy that he thinks is his dad. It's been a mystery this whole time. And also like really you don't think that in the entire time that your mom was alive, she would have been like, I definitely know your dad. He's actually
Right.
kind of a good dude. Like he's part of this family, but like I'm a junkie, so it's not exactly like I'm a saint,
Right.
If she knew who his dad was, like you think she would have maybe told him at some point.
And I kind of feel like if Baz really was his dad, he'd be acting a little bit differently with him.
Do you think Baz knows?
Oh.
Knows
I
who
don't
his
know.
dad is, or
Knows that he's Jay's
Smurf
dad.
said that?
If he potentially is, do you think?
It's possible he doesn't,
know.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It is possible because Smurf said she had a lot of men around, so.
I feel like it would have been one of those, like his mom got pregnant and then just like bounced and ran for the
But then
hills
how would
kind of
Smurf
thing.
know? This is why I
Right.
think that,
Smurf knows everything, regardless if you tell her or not.
yeah, it's true. That's why I think it's a move on her part. I just think it's a manipulative move, personally. What do you guys think?
What-
I mean, after hearing you say that,
Yeah.
because at first I was like, oh, it's definitely
Yeah.
his dad, like they told us. I mean, mean, with so many episodes left and it being such an intense show, it definitely is, I think, too early where
Yeah.
Right.
maybe Baz knows who Jay's dad is or knows like a clue towards it, but I would, now hearing you say that, I don't know if I agree with
Well,
that
because
full prediction.
because Smurf is doing something that's very, very obvious, right?
Right.
So she's essentially putting like information in each kid's ear.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Right.
she's not trying to drive any one of them. Like she's not really trying to drive an alliance with anybody. She's essentially trying to get everybody to be out for themselves, and all to be under her thumb.
Yeah.
She doesn't want anybody to really think for themselves. She wants Jay to think that maybe Baz is his dad. She wants Pope to think that maybe Jay is susceptible. She wants, Baz wants Jay to think that he's out for him. Like,
Right.
It's kind of, she wants Darren to think that, she's not on his side, but maybe it's Jay's fault. Like she's taking Jay's side. Like she
Right.
definitely likes to kind of
She plays the board.
I
plays
think
everybody
Craig's the
against
only
each
one
other.
that hasn't really been played yet.
He's just high.
Yeah.
So
She's like,
high.
oh, he's fine. I don't have to worry about him. As long as I have drugs in the house, he's
No
here.
kidding. I can't believe he was coming back from Mexico with drugs, still on, I'm sure medication for what he just
In the
went
burrito.
through. In the burrito.
So was it? He said a key. Was it cocaine or was it heroin?
I don't know.
I don't
I
know
don't know drug
slang.
terms. I thought probably it was cocaine because when he came
Yeah.
out of the house that he
he was
sold
just-
it from, he
He
was
was really
pretty,
up, right?
he was an up. He
That's
was
what
an
I was
up.
thinking.
Possibly. I think that's his number one go-to. We
I think so,
always see him
too.
snorting something.
Yeah, I'm very like if there's no such thing as a key of heroin, well, forgive me for not knowing because
You guys know. Drop
happy
it in
not
the
to know that.
comments. I won't judge you. I
Exactly.
just want to know what the heck he was talking
I
about.
think it was cocaine.
Yeah.
I think it was.
and he sold it to Ren, played by the beautiful Christina Ochoa, who's going to be in here with us next week.
Yes, she
right.
By the way, for the
That is
fans.
right.
You
We'll
guys,
sit her right here for you.
She's-
Ben. I'll sit over here with Alina next
she's
week.
a very talented actress, and we will we'll be asking her all kinds of questions just about her acting. So,
Oh,
she
yeah.
just happens to be in sex scenes, so we'll be asking her about that. Anyway,
So what was it? I'm just kidding.
Right, right.
Uh-huh.
So he did, he sold it to her. So let's talk about Darren, who.
yeah, the black sheep.
Right.
I guess Pope's kind of the black sheep, but like Darren feels he's like more the black sheep.
Black sheep.
Darren makes himself the black sheep.
Right. He
He
definitely
holds his pity parties.
Exactly.
He's super emo.
Is that how the emos look down in, what is it? Where do they live? Like
Oceanside?
Oceanside, yeah.
They don't wear all black.
No.
They're total surfers. They just
He's like
kind of
tatted.
mope around.
He should have like one like black streak in his hair,
Just right
and he should
here.
wear it over his eye a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Then we know. But we find out who he beat up in the bathroom.
Spencer Treat Clark,
Yeah.
who is the son in Gladiator, who my mind was blown when I met at the premiere
and your
because
best friend.
he's the kid in Gladiator. Like that movie won Best Picture. Like come on, he's like a speaking part in the movie that won Best Picture when I was a kid, so that blew my mind. But anyway, in this show, he is not the kid from Gladiator.
No.
Nope.
He makes surfboards. They pay him. He pays rent. It's some sort of like, it's just like another arm in like the dishonest like empire that Smurf
Right.
runs, right?
Right.
So I guess that's who was in the bathroom, and then he beat the crap out of him, and now I don't know. So he used the money. Darren used the money to pay him. Is that the deal?
I guess because his hospital bill was $4,000, and now he's saying that Darren owes him $2,500. So I'm guessing the rent was
Yeah.
A little
that,
more.
yeah.
But so the money that Darren gave to Smurf, I'm assuming is the money from the robbery.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
He said he wasn't giving him anything for beating him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Which is understandable.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
totally
think a
makes
guy's
sense.
your lover and then he beats you up because his like nephew / brother /
right
whatever he could be
there.
happens to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some good Darren information this episode. Pope
did.
revealed, I knew your dad. I delivered you from my mom in a gas station bathroom.
And you
slip on
slid
the
out.
floor.
It seemed like that was the first time he was hearing it too. Just
Yeah.
by the really awkward faces on everyone's a really awkward.
Yeah,
face.
or maybe he had heard it in like a different way at one point. But yeah, it definitely seemed uncomfortable.
It seemed
for
awkward
sure.
all the way
Even
around.
I think Craig's face was just like,
Ooh.
that was what he's such the comedic like relief in this show.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Uh-huh.
No kidding. But it was good to see Darren and just to see who it was. I'm glad that they put who it was in some sort of relation. Now, here is
Yeah.
my question that keeps going through my mind the entire time I'm watching this. I'm like, what do they say on their taxes? Because it's not like they have a front of a business, but they have all this cash coming in and out. Clearly, I mean, they've got to pay taxes on stuff, property. I mean,
I think probably.
How is this going down? I want to know.
I mean, I think my guess would be that it's all cash, and
Right.
Smurf probably has some like amount of money that she got at one point from like selling a property that maybe, you know what I mean? Some
Something
front
like
that
that.
looks like it's legitimate, and then all the rest of the cash they have is just straight cash,
Pretty liquid.
and it's her sons,
Right.
so she has every right to just support her sons, and they probably don't report any income because
Right.
like their mom just pays for everything. That's my guess.
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
It could be.
I honestly don't know.
Just inquiring minds want to know.
Maybe we'll find out.
Like I was driving the other day thinking about this.
Yeah, right. Right.
Just really invested.
I was. It's like, what? How did they do this? So let's talk about the actual robbery that they did,
Right.
and what went down in there, because we saw Jay really take, not take the fall, but do what he was supposed to do, kind of for Pope, and really came in for Pope when Darren was like, "Let's just go." So
Or like definitely because he was like, I'm not going to cut the wire. It's like
Right.
that could be like the smarter move is don't cut the
Right.
wire. And Pope's like, I know Darren's not going to do it because he's smarter, but I can pressure Jay into doing
Exactly.
it,
Yeah.
and he'll do it, and we can do. And if it goes wrong, I can blame him. You know, that could have been actually how it went down. It's hard to know, but it was good to see Jay come through. I like that.
yeah,
I mean, he had no choice, but
Yeah.
exactly.
because if they get caught, he goes to jail too.
Yeah, it was for me. I just seemed the whole thing kind of seemed sloppy. They went in there without
Always
any
sloppy.
masks,
Right.
without a real legit plan. I mean, the guy was coming back right then. It could have gone south really, really quickly.
Oh yeah, all
and
they had was those little signs, and that was it.
exactly. I just feel like that's going to be their demise very, very, very soon.
Well, so there's like there's smart stuff and there's dumb stuff, but then there's also stuff where I feel like I should know. I feel like I should know who's smart and who's dumb. And like at the end of the episode, when Jay got the watch back and then gave the watch to a cop,
Yeah.
and was like, "Give this to your daughter." Like, I was like, "Are you doing something intentionally here?" Because like, this is a cop,
Right.
and there was a robbery, and watches were stolen, and even though you told him it was your mom's only thing, like, you're giving a cop something that is a piece of
Yes,
right? Like that's a criminal watch. So like
that is evidence.
yeah, Jay feels pretty smart. He feels like he's handled himself pretty well.
Right.
So moments like that to me are always a little bit of head scratchers because from a writing standpoint, I'm just like, I don't get it. You guys have talked up Jay to be this like whiz kid student who's like super sensible. He seems impressionable, but that in no way seems like the kind of move he would do. Like to the point
Right.
that he understands how valuable that watch is and like how bad it is for that watch to be out there that he's willing to steal it back from his girlfriend and lie to her.
Exactly.
But now he's going to give it to her dad who's a cop. Like what?
Yeah, that made no sense to me
Honestly,
either.
though, I think that was the plan, since he was planning on bouncing out of Oceanside as soon as possible to find his dad.
'Cause he
Maybe
bounced
this was
kinda
like an
right after
FU to like the family. Like, fine, whatever. I'm gonna bounce out of here. I'm gonna go find my dad, start a new life. I can't deal with this. Hey, let me give this cop the watch and see what happens to you guys.
Right.
Could be. Definitely could be. I didn't think about that because he did leave right
Yeah,
after he
because
gave
he was planning
the
on
watch.
bouncing, but then Smurf is smart and gave everyone a smartphone
Yeah, to
track
track.
them. Yeah.
Oh, Smurf.
Yeah.
Smurf coming in.
She's brilliant. That's
Yeah.
that's actually a good point. That
It
could have been
is.
his moment to bury the family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Now it's gonna come back. to
It
him.
just seemed kind of odd, though, to me that he would do that. Because I totally get where you're coming from, Ben.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I was like, that's a major loose end that I don't think
Yeah.
somebody as smart as him would do naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
mean, it's weird, right? Like network TV, I talk about this sometimes in the shows I do because I cover a lot of like HBO and AMC shows, but I didn't grow up watching a lot of like ABC, NBC. TNT's not really that. TNT's like somewhere in the middle. They're getting their programming, I
Yeah.
think, definitely up to speed. Like this is a very high quality show, but
Yeah.
or CW even, like network shows that have sort of like hallmark traditional, I don't want to call it cliche, but it's writing that is very convenient because it needs to be packaged for the audience that network caters to. I always notice when things like that happen where I'm like, this feels as a plot device like I'm being led somewhere, and I don't like to feel as an audience member like I'm being led somewhere.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah.
something like that, or something like the cop that was waiting on Katherine at the bar. Patrick Fisher. It's like, he's like, hey, if he ever bothers you again, here's my card. Call me. Don't call 911 because they won't do anything. It's like you're just setting up this like tension where I'm like, I don't know. Is it is it really that realistic that it would just be convenient that she'd work at a bar and one of her regulars would be an off-duty cop and he would just never catch on that, like, actually she was into some really bad stuff, but he cares enough to constantly talk to her and be around and, like, doesn't have any idea.
And didn't know who that guy was
Right.
that she was talking to.
Was that the same cop that said hi to Baz in the liquor store last week? Or was that a different guy?
No, I don't think that was the same guy. I think the guy that said,
Okay.
I thought the guy that said hi to Baz in the liquor store last week was a white cop. I was pretty sure.
I think it was. No,
I
wait,
just
maybe
assumed
it
cop,
wasn't.
Maybe?
But I might just be thinking about the scene in Mission Impossible 3 where Tom Cruise runs into that dude in the store. And they have
Oh,
a meet
you
and
love
greet.
your Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movies.
Oh my.
Ben over there. Yeah, but let's talk about that. I mean, the cop does give Katherine the card, and I actually wrote that down as something I think may be of importance, because let's say Baz or somebody else in the family finds that cop card, and she has been acting against the family the way she has lately, that could spell bad news for her.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. So over here, Jordan Bryan in the chat said, surprised to see Ponyboy in this episode. It's from The Outsiders, the main kid, Nikki's dad, which I didn't think so, because I thought, who plays Ponyboy in Outsiders? I haven't seen Outsiders in like a solid 10 years.
I haven't seen it.
But I thought I knew the whole cast like super, super well. Also, he says, I thought he was a person in the army. I'm assuming you're referring to Patrick Fisher, the guy I thought was an off-duty cop. Maybe, was he a guy in the army?
I think that was the dad that's in the army, isn't he? He's a lieutenant in the army.
Her dad? I thought her dad was a
I thought her
cop.
dad was a cop
No,
too.
because he's cop-like. He protects. But he's definitely in the army. And
Her
then
dad?
the other guy.
He was driving some sort of patrol.
her-
Because his uniform when he like rolled up was very like standard.
But
like,
they make
somewhat
reference in an early
military.
episode of her dad being a cop.
Really?
Yeah,
I
for
think-
sure. It's in like the first episode. I think one of the boys is like, so it's like your dad being a cop or something like that. I thought that happened. I thought he was referring to this guy Patrick Fisher as maybe he was in the army.
No,
We'll
he's
see
a
who
cop.
was right.
'Cause he said.
Yeah, so maybe.
Patrick is a cop.
Patrick is a
Because he
cop.
said don't call 911.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
and
what I thought.
And she referred to the robbery, saying, "I hope you catch those guys."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. You would assume that.
We'll have
Things
to
that
dig
make
a
you
little
go,
deeper after this.
All right. I think we covered everything. Anything else you guys can think of?
Smurf's possible name that we might have.
Oh, yeah.
learned.
right.
Janine.
Janine.
Yeah.
Which I don't. You guys heard that right too? 'Cause
Yeah, I
was
did.
like, am I crazy or is this a thing?
Yeah,
'Cause
Katherine just called her Janine.
she gets pissed and it's like, Janine,
Yeah.
you can't be doing that.
Exactly. It's like when your mom gets mad at you and calls you by your full name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't seem to be fazed by it at all.
No, not at all.
She just wanted to make her ribs.
Exactly.
It's like, so you're coming, right?
Exactly.
There's like this really funny quality in this show of her just like constantly juxtaposing like something completely domestic and normal against like horrible stuff. You know, she'll be like, is your teenage girlfriend pleasing you? What can I do for you? I'm making ribs. I hope
Here,
you can be
eat
there.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like
like,
her
ah.
giant face that she makes for every meal.
She's constantly cooking.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah.
Must
I don't
be
know where she
nice.
finds the
I
time.
know, exactly. Between all of her shenanigans she does. I think that's it, though. So do you guys want to get into predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
No music today.
No,
Hey,
oh, there we go.
Now, AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh my god.
All right, we're going to start off with you, Ben.
All right, and if you guys want to share your predictions in the live chat over here, Jordan Bryan, if you've got something you want to predict, or if anybody else would like to pipe in or tweet at us, of course, we would love to know
Absolutely.
your thoughts as well. There were some good theories in the YouTube comments last
Oh
week.
yeah,
Yeah.
there were.
I think that Nikki's dad is going to be killed, and I think he's going to be killed by Jay.
Oh, wow.
I think it's going to be like a super, super uncomfortable moment, and Jay is going to have to be the one to do it. I don't think it'll happen like right away, but I have a feeling, or maybe he won't be killed. Maybe it'll be like a Hank and Breaking Bad situation. Maybe he just gets shot a bunch of times, and we think he's dead. But like I think I see that coming on the horizon. That feels like a thing.
Wow.
Dang, that was
Nikki's family
very
is
deep, very detailed
family
prediction.
decimated.
Mine is also, I'm inserting another cop into this. I think that the detective is going to find out what's going on and possibly try to get Katherine to maybe like run away from him and get her out of the situation. and then boys are gonna find out what's going on about that, and it's just all gonna blow up in their face. Like maybe that's where we see Snowflake come into action.
Right.
Possibly. I could see that. I could definitely see that happening. I think because it seems like every episode Jay kind of gets in over his head.
A little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more and a little bit more, and he kind of wants to get out, and then he's constantly being dragged back in. I think we're obviously going to see him try to find his dad again. But I do think he's actually going to get close to Pope. I have this feeling that Pope is going to bring him in under his wing.
Yeah.
In some way, maybe when the medicine kicks in that Smurf is trying to force feed him, maybe he'll, level out and be a little bit more level. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any too big of predictions. I just love seeing where the show goes because you never really know.
Do you guys think
where
that
it's gonna go.
Do you think Smurf and Pope are sleeping together, or do you think it's just they're just trying to be suggestive?
I hope it's just
I
suggestive.
hope it's
really
just
hope,
suggestive.
yeah.
But there's something there that
For
is
sure.
obviously very
Yeah.
not normal.
I think they're sleeping together. I think that's
Yeah.
the thing. We're
Like
just gonna
Mama's
get more.
Boy to a whole another level.
Yeah.
Because who cuddles that way as a grown?
No, that's weird.
It's just
that's weird.
so-
I said earlier, you hit an age, or that's just.
You're
sorry.
not crawling
Right.
into mommy's bed anymore.
Buy a stuffed animal and cuddle with that.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
no.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where that goes.
100%. Yeah.
We will see.
Oh,
All right. Well,
God.
that does it for this episode. Where can the good people find you on the interwebs?
I'm Ben Bateman. You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram.
And Leslie Ambriz, as you already know, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
And you guys can find me at Alina Vision. That's Vision with 2 S's on all of social media. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments in the description box, or under the description box on our YouTube channel. You can tweet at us, and we'll read some of those next week. You guys had great predictions. We love hearing from you guys, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.